My name is Irina. I'm an assistant director of admissions at Hunter College. First and foremost, I would love to welcome you to the fall 2021 class. Woohoo! If you're here, that means you're an accepted student. We're super excited to tell you all about Hunter. The Hawk Talk that you're attending today specifically is about the housing options at Hunter and what housing will look like for you in the fall 2021 semester. But there's also a bunch of other Hawk Talks that you're totally welcome to attend. All you have to do is go back to that same page we signed up for this and sign up for other Hawk Talks that are coming up. We have a few coming up about academic majors, there are a few about student life, there's a few about equity and inclusion on campus. So there's a lot of different things for you to get to know Hunter in a little bit more personal way, even in these virtual times. So first, I would like to introduce you to Colleen. Colleen is one of the students who currently lives at Brookdale campus, so she's going to be able to tell you a little bit of a student experience. Colleen, you go first.
Hi, everybody. My name is Colleen. Like Irina said, I am a freshman at Hunter College this year, so I'm pretty new. I've had quite an interesting experience coming into Hunter, but I've been living in the Brookdale campus for this academic year, and it's been a really great experience so far. So I'm excited to answer some questions about that for all of you.
Awesome. Thanks, Colleen. Now we're going to pass it off right to Judy, who's an assistant director of residence life at Hunter, and she's going to take it from here.
All right. Hi, everyone. Like Irina said, my name is Judy. I'm an assistant director of residence life for Hunter College. I've been with Hunter going into, oh gosh, my 8th year now. So I've been here for a while. I specifically work with the Uptown campuses, but I do work very closely with Brookdale as well. And I'm actually going to pass it off to my colleague, Amanda, who is going to give you guys some more insight on residence life and living on campus.
Hi, everyone. Like Judy said, my name is Amanda. I am currently the student life coordinator here on campus. I just wanted to say congratulations for being accepted for the upcoming academic year. I just wanted to go in to our talk a little bit just to give you some background on what it's like to live at Brookdale. So to start off, I'm just very excited to talk a little bit about living at Hunter and just any general housing Hunter is offering for this upcoming year. So our number one goal in housing during this time is to offer and maintain a safe and healthy environment for residents. We have been open for this past academic year, and while living on campus has changed a lot, we strive to provide students a place to academically strive. So Hunter's academic year housing is open only to registered Hunter students enrolled full-time. To remain in housing, our students must stay in good academic standing. Out of the thousands of students that attend Hunter, only a few hundred are awarded the opportunity to live with us. So it is extremely important to follow all housing news sent to your emails if you really want to live with us. So for this upcoming fall 2021, we're offering student housing at the Brookdale campus. The Brookdale campus is located on East 25th Street and First Avenue. The campus is located near the financial district, so there's a lot of grocery stores around. It's a quick walk to Union Square. It's just a great location if you're looking to get an internship or job in Manhattan. So when classes are in person, most students that live at Brookdale take the bus or train to 68th Street at the main Hunter campus where classes take place. The Brookdale campus also houses the nursing program, physical therapy, and medical lab science programs. For fall, we will be housing less than 600 residents. So whether you will have in-person classes, a hybrid mix, or just need a private space to focus on your academics, we suggest you apply. So at the end of this, I'm going to show you a short video of Brookdale just to go over, what it looks like, what we offer. But I will be going over a bit of the logistics first. So each student living at Brookdale lives in a single room, which comes fully furnished with a twin size bed, a desk, a chair, a dresser, and a nightstand. The cost of living with us is between $6,455 to $9,144, depending on the room assigned. This price includes the full academic year from end of August until May. Summer housing is a separate process. There are about 40 residents on each floor that share communal bathrooms, a kitchen, and lounge. There is also a larger study area on the first floor. There is a laundry room in the basement for all residents. The campus also has a large outdoor courtyard area that's great to study in during warmer weather. The campus also has a few other amenities, however, they are currently closed. I suggest you visit our website and read the COVID-19 Residential Restart Guide and the Purple Pledge to give you a better idea of what it's like living with us. Many of our COVID-19 policies and mandates will continue into fall for the safety of our students. So pre-COVID, we did have a number of in-person wellness and social events happening in the building led by our residents assistants. And we hope to one day get back to that. However, for the fall, our RAs will be leading various virtual programs, and hopefully there will be things that Hunter students can get involved in. Many of our residents are part of Hunter clubs, student government, athletics, and there are also resident assistant positions available for our upper class residents. There's always a way to get involved, regardless of what the world will look like. So while residents are following regulations, living in Hunter's available housing is still a great way to live on your own. Learn new things, meet new people, explore the city, and engage in numerous opportunities. So before I go into the video to show you a little bit about how Brookdale is and what is to live here, I'm going to show you the website because I know as of recent, I have received personally a lot of questions on how to access the website, where to find this information. So I'm just going to share my screen shortly. Okay. So this is our main page. So when you go in, you Google Living at Hunter, this is the main page that's going to show up. So if you want to find out a little bit about Brookdale campus, what you do is you have to hover your mouse over the Brookdale campus slot right up there. And let's say you wanted to know a little bit about what the room provides and the fees, you just glide down and click on Brookdale room and fees, and it'll take you to this page. So you can explore what the floor amenities offer, room amenities, building amenities, and it provides the pricing for the fall 2021 semester and the spring 2022 semester. I'll go over a little bit about what else we do offer on this page. So if you were interested in summer housing, you can hover over the Living at Hunter section and just scroll down to summer 2021. And this is the page that gives you the information and how to apply for that. I know that a lot of students are just wondering when the application process is coming out. So if you scroll back over at Living at Hunter, if you see right here, it says fall/spring housing application, you click on that. And right here at the top where it's yellow, you fill out this interest form so we can notify you when the application is open. So we do project that becoming available within the next month, but we do strongly suggest if you are considering living at Hunter, please fill this interest form out as you will receive an email when the application is available. If not, then you just have to check our website for updates. So we're just asking that if you would like to be considered for housing, please fill this interest form out. And since living at Brookdale, it's a little different now with COVID-19 regulations, we do offer our residential restart guide, which will take you to a separate page, and you can go over everything with the overview. And if you go back over to our main page, we do have our Purple Pledge available, and just a fact page, which I think is really important because it does answer a lot of questions that students will have. So this is our fact page, and if you need to know where the Brookdale campus is located, just click on it. It brings you here to tell you exactly where it is, and it's just a good reference if you do have any questions and for some reason you're just having a hard time locating where it is on the main page. If and we do offer students, we reach out and tell them if there are any questions that aren't answered on the webpage, please email us at living@hunter.cuny.edu or give us a call at our main phone number, which is located on the side here, 212-396-7136. So now I'm just gonna go over to a little video of what Brookdale campus is like. So I'm gonna share that right now. So that was just a little, recap of what Brookdale looks like. If you want to look this up on YouTube, just type in Brookdale campus and you can review the video again. So I just, I'm happy that I was able to give a quick view of Brookdale. And if you're interested in applying, please check your emails and visit our website and just fill out that interest form because we will send out information about how to apply. But thank you again, and I hope to see you all in the fall.
Awesome. Amanda, thank you so much for giving that awesome overview. We already have a few questions, and I think having Colleen here definitely kind of set a few questions forward that were specific to the student experience. So if I can have you, Colleen, come back on, that would be awesome. But Amanda, don't go too far. We have questions for you too. So one of the first questions that came in is, how is it living on campus during COVID? What do you do day to day? Do you go to classes? Where do you take your classes and so forth?
Well, since most classes at Hunter are remote this year, my classes are all online, but the campus has Wi-Fi, good connectivity, so I don't have any issues doing that. But I take them right here in my dorm room at my desk. So that's how my classes go. I'm also in a lot of clubs that meet online, so I'm able to participate in those from my dorm room as well. But aside from, being in my dorm room to take classes, there's so much to see and do outside in New York City. Especially, there's a lot of safe things to do too. I know it's not the typical experience, but there's so many things that you can do outside. I've been to the Vessel, the High Line. I just recently visited the American Museum of Natural History, which is open now with, COVID guidelines. So there's a lot of things that you can go out and do in New York City that are still safe and are a way to get moving and get outside and see the city. So that's been really cool. And part of the best part of my experience here, I come from a small town in upstate New York. And so living at Brookdale has allowed me the opportunity to really get to see New York City.
Awesome. Colleen, a follow-up question to that. A student is asking, how do you manage the whole sharing refrigerator thing, communal kitchens? What do you do for food?
Yeah, so I cook a lot. I'm not the best cook, but frozen dinners have become my best friend. You are actually allowed to have a refrigerator in your room. I don't know if you can see mine back there. It's 4.5 cubic feet, which I think is the largest that you can have at Brookdale, but it fits, like I've never had a problem fitting everything in my fridge. And then in the kitchen, there's a microwave and a stove to heat things up, to, make your lunch and your dinner. So that's how I've been managing. And it really, it's pushed me a little bit more to learn how to cook and provide for myself as opposed to relying on my parents for dinner every night. So I think that's just an added skill that you get with living here too.
Colleen, you're literally the most popular person in this room, although Amanda is the one that's been talking the most, I feel like, giving the information. So the next question came in is, how do you manage printing if you have to print something for class? Have you had to do that at all in virtual times? I don't even know.
I haven't had anything required to print, but I do like to print certain things. Like if I have essays, I like to print, the rubrics or syllabuses for my classes. So I did buy a cheap printer before I came, and so I have that in my room, just so I can print things quickly. But Brookdale does have a printer, I think, in the cafeteria on the first floor. If you do need to print anything, you can always go down there, and they have one that you can connect to and print if you aren't able to buy your own. Yeah, so there's definitely options to do so if you do want to print anything. But like I said, I haven't had anything required to print, but if it's what you prefer, you can definitely do it.
Awesome. And then one more question, that just because you mentioned that you're from a small town from upstate, somebody's asking, how was your adjustment from a small town to New York City? How did that happen? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's definitely different, but I've wanted to live in New York City my whole life. And so I was really bummed when COVID hit, right when I was going to be going to college, and I thought everything was going to be closed and I was going to be stuck in my little town again. And so when the residence halls opened up, I was really excited and I jumped on that right away. I think part of what I mentioned is I was just so enthusiastic to move down here that I've been taking advantage of every opportunity, even in such a different time. Like I mentioned, I love going out and seeing things, visiting parks, visiting landmarks outside, still seeing everything that's here, even if I can't, be inside and go to things that you would typically think of in New York, like Broadway and all of that. But I've definitely been making the most of it. And I think that's definitely the most important part about adjusting here, is just going out and seeing everything that New York has to offer and learning all about the city.
Sounds like a bucket list that I made back when I moved to New York City. You have a bucket list, it just adjusted a little bit. It has two buckets now, right? Things before COVID and things after COVID.
Definitely.
Totally feel you on that. I've had walk the Brooklyn Bridge on my list probably the moment I knew I was coming to New York, just like a have to do thing. And I have some friends who went to college in New York who have never done that, who have lived in New York their whole life and who have never done that.
I haven't done that yet, but I'm going to add that to mine.
Do it. We'll go together. The next question came in is for Amanda or Judy, whoever is available to answer this. Students are asking, they saw on the website that there are different room types available at Brookdale. Can you talk a little bit about the difference, what they are, why there is a difference, and so forth?
So I can answer that. So there are a few room types at the Brookdale campus. However, the majority of the rooms on site are single occupancy. So there are courtyard rooms and non-courtyard rooms, and what that really means is whether you face the courtyard rooms or the courtyard that's in front of the building, or you don't face the courtyard. If you have a specific scholarship that covers housing costs, you are in a specific rooms. And then there are other rooms that are usually given priority to upperclassmen. Like we've been saying, with COVID regulations right now, everyone is going to be in single occupancy spaces, right? Because we do have a few that are shared, but because of making sure people are safe and following all of our restriction and guidelines, the majority of incoming students will be placed in single occupancy rooms.
Awesome. I think you started sort of, even that kind of covers a little bit about COVID and what that looks like for students in this day and time of COVID life. What are some of the precautions that have been taken, and how does Res Life handle all of this?
Sure. Amanda, if you want to, you can help answer that too.
Yeah, definitely. So when you come into Brookdale, you'll notice that most of the shared spaces are spread apart. So for instance, when you enter the building, our check-in desk, where public safety is, there's a huge plexiglass. So just to, make sure there's no spread. And the study room, or we call it the cafeteria, but a lot of students are utilizing it for doing homework, having lunch. They usually are, tables together, but because of COVID, each table is spread apart and there's only one student per table in the cafeteria, as well as the shared spaces such as the laundry room and the kitchen. There's only a certain amount of people in there at a time. So for the the laundry room, it's only two people at a time. And then your kitchen, I believe it's two people at a time. And there are signs posted throughout our building as well. So same goes for bathroom. You'll notice that there's a sign for a certain amount of people at the bathroom at the same time. And there are partitions put up between the sinks. And usually, I believe there are like 3 stalls available for the toilets, 3 showers, but the middle stall is offline just to, you know, have a socially distanced experience in the bathroom as well. And, with COVID, you always have to wear your mask. We, for guideline purposes, we're not allowing any other students in your room, no visitors allowed. So at Brookdale, it is, we're taking precautions very seriously because this is serious, but we still want you to have a good, enjoyable experience here. So we know that once the warmer months come, we see students outside in the courtyard, like sitting at a table, but on opposite ends. As long as you're staying safe, that's what we care about. But there are precautions being taken at Brookdale, and you can see that once you come into Brookdale.
Awesome. I think that probably leads me back to Colleen a little bit. Somebody's asking, how do you make friends given that you're being separated by a bathroom stall, right? So how do you make friends in this environment?
Yeah, it's definitely different. I know that in Amanda's video, she showed a lot of the events that were going on pre-COVID. So I'm really excited. Hopefully in the future, we can have more of those events. I think that definitely helps with meeting people. But during COVID, definitely just getting out of your room. You'll meet people outside in the courtyards. If you go out and read a book, or if you're making something in the kitchen, somebody else will be making something. You could just ask them, oh, that smells good. Like, what are you making? Also, all RAs are still having open office hours online. So getting to know your RA is also something I definitely recommend, since they're upperclassmen and they're more familiar with the area. I know I one of my majors is the same as my RA. And so we just recently went out for coffee and she told me a little bit about the program and about her experiences in New York City and things that she recommends to do here. So I definitely think that getting to know your RA, going to those meetings where there might be other residents there too, that's definitely a great way to meet people online, that you can, go out and say, hey, let's grab lunch. And then you can make friends that way. I think that's a really great way of doing it right now.
Awesome. Some students are also asking, you mentioned that you just started kind of going to the events, but was there anybody who helped you sort of transition when you first showed up? Can you talk a lot about the RAs? Like, what do they do? Did they do anything? Was there a meeting?
Well, like I mentioned, they are still doing the office hours. As far as events, there's no events right now, just to keep everybody distanced besides the things that are online, the office hours and the floor meetings. But there's no sort of like, group gatherings, just so that everybody can stay safe and stay distanced. But I think that's a big part of moving to New York City is kind of figuring it out on your own and learning how to ride the subways and how to do all that by yourself. So I think, just like I mentioned earlier, just getting out there and going for it and trying. You might ride the subway the wrong way one stop, but you get off and you go the other way, and you'll be fine. It's just, it's learning how to navigate New York City on your own. I think that's really important.
taking the subway the wrong way, I feel like it's like the rite of passage in New York City. You have to do it at least like 7 times before you can say like, okay, I'm a New Yorker now. I understand I can't do this anymore. Completely agree with you. A few more questions that came in that are a little more logistics. So Judy or Amanda, whoever, the students are asking, sort of what's the consistency of student population in housing? Are there international students? Are there New York City students, out of state? What does that look like for our community?
Sure. So I think our population has changed a lot within the past few years that I've been here. In the beginning, it was a lot of students who lived in the metro area, so within the 5 boroughs. But I think as admissions expands to students out of state and students from, Western New York, upstate New York, we really do have a mix of students from everywhere, international. We do have a lot of scholar cohorts who live on site. But there is a great mix of people who live on campus with us.
Judy, I'm going to follow up on that. Students are asking what happens to students, like once you apply for housing, like how many students apply? Does everybody get housing? Is there a wait list? They're a little bit worried about this whole process.
Sure. So, I understand that it could be a scary process, obviously, because we don't have housing for every student that applies. I can tell you that in the past, we would have anywhere from 1,000 to 2,500 applications for housing, and obviously we only house less than 1,000 students. But I don't want that to be discouraging in any sense. Obviously, with COVID-19 and the regulations, a lot more students did not apply this past year. So we were able to take any of the students that did apply. That may change again in the fall, right? Because school is changing. It may be hybrid, it may be in person, it may again be all remote. So it does depend on that. And, we do try to provide housing to people, to everyone, right? But obviously we just can't. We just don't have enough spaces. And with the restrictions, we do have to provide less housing than we normally would be able to. But we put everyone, if you don't receive housing, you are put on a wait list. And I've never had someone who's been on a wait list who really, really wanted housing who didn't really get one, because things happen throughout the summer. Students, change their minds with housing, and then that happens throughout the summer. And we do give out housing up until like the first month or so into the fall semester. So like I said, don't give up hope. We really, really try to work with the students who apply. But again, we would love to guarantee housing for everyone. We just don't have enough spaces for all the students who are interested sometimes.
And that brings me to the next point, right? Make sure that you guys sign up for that interest form. That kind of puts you ahead of the game, right?
Yeah.
You'll be the first batch of students to hear when the application's open. You will be sort of the first student contacted if you sign up for that interest form. So you'll know when all of this is happening. A lot of students are also asking because they've looked on the website and they see that there are other buildings. Do you happen to know if we're planning on opening the other buildings? Will other accommodations be available? Some of them like the whole apartment living situation versus single rooms and communal floors. Any update?
So for right now, the only housing locations that's being provided through Living at Hunter for the fall is the Brookdale campus. The other housing locations are not. That may change, but for the foreseeable future, that is what is provided from us.
Awesome. I usually tell students whenever somebody asks me about this is Brookdale is the only building that offers singles. So that's the only way for us to ensure that you guys are somewhat safe in this virtual distanced world thing. So that's sort of big push of why Brookdale is open, is because it is single accommodations to make sure that you have a safe environment to live in. Another question comes in from a student who's asking, if I choose not to be in housing for the fall, or if I don't live in housing for the fall, if I don't get a room, is it possible to apply for the spring instead?
Yes, you definitely can apply for the spring. We do have students sometimes move out halfway through the semester once the fall semester ends. So there's possibilities for rooms to open up. So we encourage, if you are not accepted for the fall and put on a wait list, you would have to reapply for the spring semester. So just look out. We usually we update our website with the application if you are interested for dorming in the spring semester.
Awesome. Amanda, since I have you here and you at Brookdale as well, students are asking, are there bike racks to safely secure your bike?
Yes, there are. There are bike racks out in the courtyard, and I believe we have about 2 bike racks available. So you can leave your bike there, make sure to lock it up, and it'll be good to go.
And I think a lot of them are asking, a few of you, Colleen has mentioned this too, that there's a courtyard. What does that actually mean for Brookdale residents? What's in the courtyard? What can they do? How can they use it?
So the courtyard is basically the front space when you walk into Brookdale. So when you come up the ramp, there is the landing, and there are available picnic tables that you can sit on, some benches. So that is what the courtyard consists of, along with the bike racks. So it's mainly for, students to just sit, and if they want to do some work, just enjoy the outdoors, read a book. But that is what the courtyard consists of.
Awesome. I want to bring it back to some of the questions that came in for Colleen, if that's okay. Colleen, the students are asking sort of what made living at Hunter okay for you, right? Like somebody says, I'm not ready to be a cook yet. I don't know how to cook. What are my alternatives?
I am not a cook either. Do not worry. I buy so many frozen dinners, like frozen chicken Alfredo that you put in the microwave for 5 minutes and it's done. Like those have been my best friend. But also, there's so many different places where you can get meals. In New York City, I think there's a food truck like literally right outside of Brookdale. There's a Subway down the street that I go to a lot. There's definitely options. If you're not a cook like me, there's grocery stores. I think there's a Target right around here that I go to. There's a grocery store like right over the bridge, right by Brookdale. There's a lot of ways for you to, get groceries and cook here if that's what you can do. But if that's not your strong suit, there's also lots of opportunities, ways for you to get frozen dinners and, food from places that already have it made. So there's really no worries there. I am not a cook either.
It happens. We all had to learn at some point. I feel like everybody who even works in housing, Amanda and Judy can probably attest to this. You had to figure it out at some point, folks. I've personally, in my college days, set off a fire alarm twice just trying to make popcorn. That was not a good time for anybody. So it happens, life happens, you move on, you figure it out. A few students are asking, when you decide to order, do they just bring up the food or do you have to meet them? What happens?
Like through DoorDash or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so usually they will, if you go down to the lobby, they will like bring it right up to the doors and you can just go pick it up at the lobby. I like I mentioned, I like to get out there. So I usually place pickup orders just so that I can go and see these different little restaurants and places that are nearby, but you can definitely get it delivered right to the main lobby here.
Awesome. I know it's the first year for Colleen and we're living in different times, but I think what's interesting is that students that we've had who lived in the residence halls before, you guys need to remember the location of Brookdale, right? It's located on 25th Street and Hunter main campus is located on 68th Street. So if you do have in-person classes this coming fall semester, your commute to main campus is, what do you guys say, 20, maybe 25 minutes on a traffic heavy day, right? Which will probably not happen to be traffic heavy coming this fall. But also a lot of our students take their bikes and there's a city bike rack outside. So if you're into that side of things, it's a really cool opportunity for you to, again, experience New York City the way New Yorkers do. You can either take the subway, which is only 3 blocks away. You can take the bus, which I think is the preferred method for Brookdale residents, as it runs right up the avenue, right to Hunter. Or you can take your city bike or your personal bike up the streets too, which probably cuts your commute time and spendings on the Metro cards too. So there's a lot of different ways for you to kind of get the feel of New York City and feel of being on your own while you're also protected with the Residence Life staff. I'll say this with as much love as possible. Res Life staff is not there to like watch over, right? But they will be helping you along the way. So the RAs or the professional, the RDs or residence life coordinators or whoever's in the res life sort of life are there to make sure that you're safe and secure while you're learning how to do everything, whether it's cooking, doing your laundry for the first time, probably on your own, maybe you haven't done that before, or just like figuring out how this whole school thing works, whether you need a little tutoring, figure out how that would work for you. So they're here to help you and offer you resources, essentially. So you're definitely not on your own if you're a little worried about being out there sort of living in New York City for the first time in your own. Definitely not on your own. I think that pretty much covers majority of the questions. So I want to cover a few basic things. One, this is one of like 56 hot dogs that we have planned for the fall 2021 students. So if you have questions about Colleen's experiences, you can actually find Colleen right on our website. There's a little button that says chat with students. Colleen is not the only resident at Brookdale. There's a lot more students at that Unibuddy platform, but you're welcome to reach out to her and ask her all these great questions that you're asking. I see somebody's asking, what happens if you're in the shower when the fire alarm goes off? You get out of the shower and you get out of the building. That's what happens. So if you have questions like that, and these are the questions that students want to answer, definitely go to our website, go to that click chat with students box, and definitely find students who are living in the res halls. They will be able to answer those questions with detail, and they'd like to hear from you. Two, don't forget to sign up for the other Hawk Talks. There's a ton of different opportunities, as I mentioned, to get to know Hunter on a few different levels. There are Hawk Talks about student life, there are Hawk Talks about your academic programs, and a whole bunch of things in between. So make sure you check out the admissions website again for page for admitted students and sign up for the other Hawk Talks. For those of you who were with me today, Judy, Amanda, and Colleen, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate your time and appreciate you meeting our future fall 2021 Hawks as well. So thank you everybody for coming, and hopefully we'll see you at the other Hawk Talks. Bye everyone.
Bye everyone.